Hi everybody, this is Irene Rubaum-Keller, licensed psychotherapist and author of the book, Foodaholic, The 7 Stages to Permanent Weight Loss. Today we're going to be talking about a concept that I'm sure you've heard of, which is falling off the wagon. And when it comes to your weight work, have you fallen off the wagon? If you have, I'm going to help you get back on, coming right up. So in addiction, when we talk about falling off the wagon, we mean, for example, if you're an alcoholic, that you went through a period of being on the wagon, which meant you weren't drinking, and then you fell off and you started drinking again. So that's the imagery and the concept of falling off the wagon in addiction. When we're talking about falling off the wagon, if you're a foodaholic, what we mean is that you went off plan. And so if your plan was to not eat any sugar, if you fell off the wagon, then we mean you ate sugar. And when it comes to eating addiction, food addiction, and weight work in general, this imagery of falling off the wagon isn't very helpful. I don't imagine it's super helpful with alcoholism either. And let's talk about why that is. There's the imagery of the wagon, you're on it, right? Okay, so if you're on the wagon and everything is fabulous, and in the case of the weight work, you're doing all of the behaviors that you need to do to be the weight you want to be. You're on the wagon, right? So you're eating well, you're exercising, you're keeping track of your food, you're weighing every day, your weight's going down. It's fabulous. You're, on the wagon. And then this imagery says, you fall off, right? You fall off the wagon. So how can you fall off a wagon unless, let's say, you hit a really big bump, which fits in addiction, right? You're going along, your weight works fabulous, 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 and then you hit some traumatic life experience and your energy for the weight work goes away and you revert back to your old habits. That happens a lot. So you hit a bump and you're thrown off the wagon and you fall and you start using again. That's kind of the imagery. Or, if you didn't fall off because you were bumped off, then you had to have thrown yourself off the wagon, flung yourself to the ground, right? So the imagery isn't very helpful. But let's just use it for the sake of this video and talk about the idea that you're either on or off. You're on the wagon or you're off the wagon. You're on a diet or you're off a diet. You're on track or you're off track. That thinking, as far as with your weight work, really needs to change because it's destructive. I'll tell you why. Let's just say you've been on the wagon for a while, you're doing really well, you're losing weight, and it's Friday and something happened in your week. It was really stressful and something crosses your path that you weren't planning to eat and you're just exhausted, looks too good to resist, and you have the thing, whatever that thing is. So now technically you're like off the wagon if you're thinking of it as being on a diet and off, right? All right, now I don't know about you, but for me, if it's Friday and I'm off the wagon, I'm likely to tell myself something like, you know what, since I'm off the wagon anyway, I might as well just eat my face off until Monday when I will get back on the wagon, right? And give myself essentially permission to just eat like crazy until I attempt to get back on the wagon. This isn't good. And the reason with eating and weight work this isn't good is because your body doesn't care what you tell yourself. You know what I mean? It just counts every calorie and it acts appropriately with it. It decides whether to store it as fat, whether to burn it, what to do with it. Use it to rebuild your body or whatever it needs it for. And it doesn't care if you've said to yourself, I'm starting a diet Monday. It will just say, if it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you're completely overeating, it will simply say, oh, we have 5,000 additional calories we need to store as fat now. And it will just store it as fat. It won't then say, oh, it's not a problem because she's going back Monday, right? Now Monday comes along, what happens? Monday comes along and you try to get back on the wagon. And then the imagery, again, not helpful, because when I picture this, I picture the wagon's in motion and you have to go get on it, like run up to it and jump on it. Yeah, and that isn't really how it works, is it? Not at all. My hope for you, and with your long-term weight management, which is what we need to do, is that you'll learn to stop thinking of it as off and on. You're on a diet, you're off a diet, you're, doing really well, you're doing very poorly. It's just food and calories, and you can just use it as data. If you can learn to remove the emotion from the eating, and I highly recommend that you journal, that you write everything down that you eat and keep track of the calories, you can learn what's going on with you that way. You can really pay attention, and you can go, wow, all right, I had a really low calorie several days. This is what I ate on those days. This is what was happening on those days. And then by the fourth day, I lost it in the afternoon, and here's what I ate. Here's why I lost it. And then you can just be like a detective and begin to analyze your behavior around food so that you can wake up. Because a lot of our behavior around food is automatic, and we need to be awake if we're going to change our behavior. So that's it for today. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you have, fallen off the wagon, you really haven't. You've just been eating things you didn't plan to eat. Choices. You've been making choices. Nothing happened that threw you to the ground. You've simply been making choices that are not aligned with your weight goals. That's it. And once you get real aware of that, you simply switch to making choices that are aligned with your weight goals. More and more of those, your weight will go down, and you begin to feel better and better, and it builds on itself, and hopefully you'll be super successful as you go. That's it. Take care. Come see me again soon.